channel, guys. Today we have a push day, so we're going to take you through more of a delt focused push day today. Very much in my groove in the off season at the minute. It was a couple of days this week, the start of the week, where I came down with a little bit of illness, which was frustrating because as soon as you're ill, anyone know your off season, as soon as you're ill, body weight plummets and you start to feel pretty small pretty quick. But had a good session back in yesterday and obviously moving back in now, so we'll still try and keep the numbers as high as they have been, but we'll take you through today's session. So very simple session today, again as always with myself. When we structure the delt focus days, we're going to cover all three heads, so front, medial and rear. So we're just going to make sure that it is a full complete workout, and we're going to be pushing some big numbers because we need to at this point of the off season. Before I'm very close to starting to diet back down again, and to be honest, I can't wait for it. So yes, without further ado, we'll get after the session. First up, standing cable lateral raise. With this I love to use the cuffs. It makes the movement for me feel so much better. Far more medial delt activation, taking the grip strength out of it, taking more of the trap out of it as well. So if you have the option and the ability to use some cuffs, then do so. You could go lying, you could go standing. I personally get a better connection when I'm doing the standing ones, which is why I always do it and focus on getting progressively strong with that. 3 sets on there, a lot of volume of reps. I like to put a lot of blood in the muscle at the start of the session before going into my pressing movement. So for me, warming up my medials and warming up my rear delts, which is what we're going to go on to next, doesn't take away from my pressing. From what I found, it actually enhances it because they're already warm going into that, rather than just going cold into my pressing. So I go pretty high rep, 15 to 20 reps. First set, from there heavier around that 12ish range. Final set, 8 to 10 with a drop set. So again, a lot of volume of reps there. So 3 working sets in total there, guys. We move on now to rear delts. Exercise 2 now, so straight away we're going into some rear delt stuff. I think it's a muscle group that not many people prioritise. Like, I'm really prioritising it, to be fair, at the minute, with hitting it on my back days equally, as well as isolating it from the start on my delt focus days. And with this, what I feel is straight away, if we can get progressively strong on it by not thinking of rear delts as sort of like an afterthought, which I think they commonly are, similar to like calves, and I'll hold my hand up with that, I'm probably the same, but if we start to, if we've got rear delts that are lacking, which a lot of people do, we need to start looking at the session structure in terms of where do we place that. Now, this is very much a case of an advanced lifter, probably thinking about where shall I place rear delts if you're looking about getting on stage as more so probably an open bodybuilder, even to be fair, even top level classic physique to men's physique, you're going to need a big set of rear delts within those back poses, and obviously with the side chest. So it's a case of, if we can isolate it from the start, we're going to get a greater stimulus, progress it over time, we're going to get a better response from it. It's as simple as that, really. So that's why I'm placing it at the minute at the start of my delt days. Now we're on to the first press. So we've done medial delts, rear delts, and for me, the Smith press is number one at the minute. It's my number one favourite chest press. I do it on my push chest focus days, and I absolutely blitz it on my delt focus days. And it's been in there for years. Like, this is a movement that I have literally not changed for years. And there's a reason why I'm strong on it. And that's because I've not gone, oh, you know what? I need to change my exercises every 6 weeks. I'm getting bored, I need to change my program. It's because I've stuck at it for years. Repetition, like, repetition is like the mother of skill. So with that, that's the reason why I'm so good at this. Skillful and strong at this movement, without sort of blowing my own trumpet, but I've managed to progress it over that period of time, which has now led to all-time new levels of muscle mass that I've never had before. And it's because I've progressed this over years. If I'd have just chopped and changed program every sort of 10 weeks, I would never be as strong as I am at this now, and that would never show in my physique in terms of within my musculature. So just remember, guys, don't be chopping and changing your training program every 8-10 weeks. I understand if you're more of a lifestyle individual who needs that and likes that. And don't get me wrong, I've got clients who need that just for their general freedom of training. But the more elite you are, you're trying to jump on a bodybuilding stage, and you want to achieve that style look, you've got to stick to the movements, guys. You've got to become very skillful at executing them, and the muscle's going to follow. So just always remember that, guys. Pretty long-winded for me to explain it, but I hope you can understand the reasons why I feel you should stick to these key compound lifts. So we're working at 2 sets on this, heavy set and then a back off, and then we just go from there into my secondary press. But Smith press, off we go. 2 now. So Atlantis, again, it's another overhead press, but we're going neutral grip. So neutral grip overhead press. And again, working at 2 sets here, 1 heavier set and then 1 back off set from there. 2 presses for me is enough on your delt focus days. You see, I call this a delt focus push day. Realistically, it's just a shoulder day. But if you are just doing shoulder days alone, I think two overhead presses is fine. If you're doing delts with chest, I would say you probably want to go for probably 3 presses and do 2 shoulder overheads and then one chest focus press. So that's how I would go about structuring it if you're doing it yourself. But exercise 2 now, again, stimulus all going through the frontal delts. To medial delts again now. At this point of the session, all I'm bothered about is generating as much metabolic fatigue through the medial delt as possible. So what we're going to do is a crazy superset. All chest supported, so there's no real momentum in the movement. Everything's just coming from the medial delts. What we're going to do is just drive up through nice and wide, and then from there we are going to get a little bit of frontal delt as well, and then we're going to go some narrow ones. So just narrow, upright, raise, whatever you want to call it, dumbbell upright raise. And with this, it's just going to completely fry the delts at this point of the workout in technical terms. So, you know me, I like to keep everything as simple as possible. At this point of the session, metabolic fatigue is the focus. Supersets at this point are a nice thing to bring in. At the end of the day, yeah, I can't say, oh, I'm going to track this, I'm going to improve this, I'm going to log this, whatever. At this point of the workout, I'm just going to enforce as much of the pump as I can on the delts, and that for me just works. I enjoy it. It's simple, it's effective. Give it a try, guys. This superset's pretty wild, so yeah, off we go. And then we have another push session ticked off. Obviously delt focus workout today. Happy with numbers. I always predicted that my strength may dip a little bit just because I've lost a little bit of body weight over the last few days just through illness, but all round a good session. So we've obviously targeted all heads of the shoulder, and again some good progressions that have been taken over the course of the session. So that for me is a simple delt workout there. If you followed me for a long period of time, you'll kind of know the structure of those sort of sessions, and again for me they work very, very well. The session structure is absolutely the reason why I've been able to develop my delts like I have done over the last few years. It covers all aspects. I'm able to progress the movements, and I don't sort of chop and change exercises too regularly. But no, all round a very good session. Obviously we finished off there with 2 tricep movements, Vulcan extension, and as well another push down. So again, a complete session for you guys to follow. But thank you as always for tuning in. Another training session one today. Still going to be, obviously, as I always do, providing value to the channel. There's plenty of videos if you scroll down to go through. You guys who are doing your cardio or just generally want to learn about sort of different aspects of nutrition, go through my journey, my processes, and just follow on with my story really. So yeah, there's plenty more to come. And again, thank you for tuning in for this episode.